to listen. I'll try to follow along as it reads.
A river so beautiful that all the animals came to drink from it. One day, a giant moose came to this river. "He's so big," cried out a beaver named Barney. "Even bigger than Big Bear," added Betty, another beaver. "He sure is thirsty," noticed Marty, a muskrat. "He's drinking so much that the river is going down," yelled Mary, another muskrat. The animals grew worried. "Our beaver dams will be destroyed," warned Barney. "And we'll have no water to drink," said Mary. Big Bear, who had been listening the whole time, said, "Let's meet tonight and plan how to get rid of this pest." "Count me in," added Fly. All the animals laughed at Fly. How was such a tiny creature going to help? As the sky grew dark, Fly joined the others on the riverbank. "So what's the plan?" he asked. Barney started by saying, "I will gnaw on that moose's legs until he runs away." "But he'll kick you with his big strong hooves," warned Betty. "Oh," said Barney, "I didn't think of that." "We need another plan," both muskrats said at the same time. "I am the strongest," said Big Bear. "I'll fight that moose." "But the moose is twice your size," said Fly. The beavers and muskrats all said to Fly, "Be quiet. You are the weakest of all." The next morning, Bear was worried. Was Fly right? Was the moose truly twice his size? "Bear, hurry," said the muskrats. But Big Bear did not move. I'm scared," he replied. "Maybe we should try my plan," Fly admitted. But all the other animals just laughed at Fly. So Fly flew onto the moose's back. Holding on tightly, he bit the moose as hard as he could. "Ouch!" cried the moose. Fly flew up and bit the moose's ear. "Stop it!" the moose yelled. "I'll never stop," said Fly, as he flew around and bit the moose on its leg. The moose was unable to stop Fly, so he turned and ran. The animals never saw him again. That night, the beavers made fish stew. The muskrats danced a special dance in honor of Fly. "Hooray for Fly!" they all sang. "You see," began Fly, "even the weakest animal can beat the strongest if he uses his brain."
Yes, you said.
And so, I want you all to get in the huddle for a minute, and you can help him remember, since he wasn't here for all of this yesterday, to remember who our characters are. Remember who our characters are.
The Big Bear, moose.
I'm turning from this page. That's why I want you to remember who they are.
The bear.
So you said the Big Bear, the moose, the muskrats, and Fly. And Barney was one of the muskrats. Betty, I think, was his wife. And then where was this? Where were they? Where was this taking place? In the woods. So that's our setting. Yeah, in the woods. And what's the major part of this woods then? The river. Okay, and so what is our problem?
Just keeps drinking all the water.
Is Ryker Tweedy in the room?
Yes. Hello?
Is Ryker Tweedy in the room?
Yes, he is.
Can you send him up prepared to leave?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later, Roger. Thank you. Okay, Fly bit the moose again and again till he ran away. And so that is a good point of that. Now we kind of want to look at cause and effect. And to some degree, it's kind of us kind of retelling the story. And in our retell, and as I write this, you all are going to help me with it, but I also want you to write it down. And we'll call it our cause and effect. I'll make them all capital. Cause and effect. ECT. We've got cause and effect chart, and to some degree there's a little bit of sequence in this as well, like the order in which things happened. And so, I'm going to write cause over here, effect over here. Okay, first thing, what's the first problem or issue that y'all just mentioned? So, but again, we're kind of going back through the story, kind of doing a retell. And so what was that first problem, the main problem that we're trying to solve?
The moose
Is
The
doing,
is drinking the water from the river, all the water from the river.
moose drinking all water, and I'm going to be writing sketchy sentences from river. And what's the effect of him drinking all the water from the river?
The animals don't have enough to drink water.
No water for forest animals.
I don't see
He's,
what's the problem with the moose drinking water.
well, as they say, the moose was so big. Remember, he was like twice the size of Big Bear, and then he's, you know, probably 20 times the size of all of the other forest animals. And so to them, it looks like he's drinking it all up, and we won't have any left. Our lives will be destroyed. And so, what did they decide to do when they noticed that this problem is taking place?
They said
What did they have?
they had a plan.
No, did they have a plan, or did they have a meeting?
Meeting at the river at night.
They had a meeting. And what was the meeting for?
They planned to get rid of the moose.
To come up with a plan. To get rid of moose. Okay, and then what was their solution? What was the plan that they came up with?
The bear was going to fight the moose's leg.
Okay, so Big Bear volunteered to fight. Okay, what's next? Now, when Big Bear said that he would fight Noah, what did Fly say?
I know.
Well, go back to that. Did Big Bear's wife think that was a good idea?
No.
No, she did not think that was a good idea.
I think he'll get killed.
She thought he was gonna get killed. And so Fly comes in and he says, what? I'll help. And then when he says I'll help, what did they say?
They said, I will help. They said yours too weak and you can't do.
He was too weak. He was like, you're the weakest one of us all. That's, and in their minds, that's no help. You're too small. You got nothing going for you. And so we'll put that right here. Fly volunteers. They reject. I'll say they reject him. But then, what happened the next day when Big Bear's supposed to fight?
The fly flew in and bit.
No, not that. What happened when he's supposed to fight Noah? That very next morning,
Oh, he didn't fly.
he didn't fight.
Hello,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm
Is this
just
Miss
fine.
Becky's desk?
Yes, that was the one. Thank you, I appreciate it. And so, Big Bear gets scared. What happens when he gets scared?
He doesn't move. He stays where he's at.
And so what does Fly do then, Noah?
He goes up to the moose and starts biting it.
Then Fly attacks Moose. And then, when Fly attacks Moose, what happens?
The moose runs away and then he comes back.
Moose runs away. And then what did they decide to do after Moose runs away? What did they do that
They celebrated for the fly's victory.
celebration? And then that leads to the last thing he said, which is, I want you all, oh, well, you can keep writing there for a minute. Because I want you to talk about this and get closer, put your heads together. I want you to physically move in and put your heads together to decide how to put this. Because that leads to
Pardon the interruption, teachers. I need these students to come to the office, please. Addie Cantrell, Elijah Villa, Haley Villa, Willow Riley, Nevaeh Riley, Lainey Carter, Bentley Hart, Elizabeth Carter, and Robert Johnson. Thank you.
I almost have to leave. Not for me. I'm a bus driver.
And so that leads to, excuse me, what did the fly do that made a difference? Either one.
He proved that he was strong
He proved that he was strong. How?
by biting the moose and making him leave.
He proved to be strong, and I'll put Fly here. Fly proved to be strong. And then what was he said? What was that last thing that he said? When they were saying hooray to the fly. What was it down here? This very last thing.
You see, again 5, even the weak animals can be the strongest if he used his breath.
And so he proved to be strongest, not because he was physically stronger, but why?
He was using his brain.
Because he was mentally stronger. He was using his head. He was using his smarts. Sometimes you got to outsmart the enemy. Sometimes you can't go toe to toe with him. He may actually be a giant. He might actually be bigger than you are. So you got to figure out what's his weakness maybe. How can I get around him? How can I get around his size? Use what I have to my advantage.
I use weapon.
Hmm?
I use weapon.
Mm-hmm. And then that's going to be our theme. And we will put it in Fly's words. Put it in quotes since that's what he said. Even the